What's going on, guys? Billy here, and today DJI announced a drone that everybody has been asking for, which is more or less the camera of the Phantom 4 Pro on the body of the Mavic Pro. Now obviously there is a lot more to it, which I want to talk about in great detail. Now I got the chance to get my hands on both of the drones released today at DJI's event, the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, both of which make up the Mavic 2 series. Now the body of both of these drones is identical, I mean down to a T. It's the same drone with the same features, but what separates them is the cameras that they carry. So how I want to structure this video is by first going over the design of the body of the Mavic Pro and also the features, as that's kind of what both of these drones share. And then after that, I want to talk about what separates them with their cameras by going over each camera individually. And then along the way, I also want to give you some of my first impressions. Now, when you take your first look at the Mavic 2 body, you might think it looks similar to the Mavic Pro's body, the original Mavic Pro, like nothing has really changed at all. Even I thought the same thing. I thought that the cameras were going to be the biggest change, but to my surprise, DJI implemented a lot of really great changes to the body that went over my head from just seeing the leaked photos. Starting things off with the front of the drone, things look pretty similar with the two obstacle avoidance sensors in the same place as the original Mavic Pro, and of course there's the payload, which is the main camera. Spinning things to the side, you'll begin to notice a difference with obstacle avoidance sensors located just behind the battery. There's also new ventilation on both sides, which helps the drone run cool. On the back, we begin to see some changes with dual obstacle avoidance sensors and a pair of vents for even more ventilation points. Taking a look at the top of the drone will show the infrared sensor that prevents you from running into anything as the drone gains altitude. The battery is also in the same place but has been redesigned, so unfortunately older Mavic Pro batteries will not work. The LEDs are now integrated into the power button, which I think looks clean, and the size of the battery is much bigger than the original Mavic Pros, holding a whopping 3,850 milliamp hours. You can really tell that the new Mavic 2 is a lot heavier than the original Mavic Pro, with most of that extra weight coming from the bigger battery. Now the bottom plate of this drone is where things get interesting. We certainly have a lot going on down here, like a pair of obstacle avoidance sensors so the drone can determine when it's landing, a pair of vision positioning sensors to help maintain its position when hovering, and also a pair of LEDs for landing in low light situations so the obstacle avoidance sensors can do their thing, which I personally think is pretty damn cool. Just a few miscellaneous points about the Mavic 2's design. The LEDs have been changed to resemble those on the Inspire, which I think look great and function even better. I hated that single back LED on the original Mavic Pro. We also have a USB-C port to get data off of the internal storage, a button to link a new remote controller, and an SD card slot. The Mavic 2 is the perfect example of the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. DJI went back to the drawing board. They wanted to keep that original Mavic Pro design because it was so perfect across the board, and they wanted to see what they could add to it to make it better. So they added obstacle avoidance on every single side, which they squeezed into such a small drone. I really think that that's incredible. And also, I love those small LEDs on the bottom of the drone. It's such a small touch, but I think it's really cool, and it's going to be really useful for people who want to fly during sunrises or sunsets when lighting is not the best. Now, on this topic of design, I just wanted to quickly touch on the remote, which is what we're used to. It's nothing different really. It has all the same ports, the same built-in screen, the same removable sticks that originally featured on the Mavic Air, but now the sport mode switch on the side is a little bit different. So it's still on the side, the same spot as where it was on the Mavic Pro, but now it has 3 separate toggles. So you can do P mode, which is just standard mode, you can do S mode, which is sport mode, and you can also flip it down into T mode, which is tripod mode. Now I love tripod mode. It's my most used intelligent flight feature, just for when I'm trying to go a little bit slower so I can get the perfect shot. And it was always annoying trying to dig through the intelligent flight modes, trying to get to tripod mode, but now that I can simply flip down with it, that is a lifesaver. Another small change is to the wheels on the back of the remote. They are both smooth scrolling, and on the zoom version, you can now control the zoom and the gimbal pitch instead of the exposure, which I don't seem to mind when flying the drone. Oh yeah, we got to fly it. Now the tech inside of both of these drones has also gotten an upgrade, like AccuSync 2.0, ActiveTrack 2.0, and also a slew of new flight features. So here's a very quick rundown of that. AccuSync 2.0 introduces longer flight up to 5 miles with 1080p video transmission. ActiveTrack 2.0 improves the Mavic 2's tracking efficiencies by creating a real-time 3D map through the use of the main camera and the 2 forward-facing sensors. The maximum speed of the Mavic 2 is 44 miles per hour in sport mode, and the advertised maximum flight time is 31 minutes, which makes this the longest-lasting consumer drone DJI sells. Whew. Yeah, so a lot of different features and internals have been upgraded for the Mavic 2. Basically, if you missed all of that, the Mavic 2 has gotten faster, it's gotten smarter, and it has more endurance now as it can stay in the air for longer, all of which is great. Really quickly, before I move on, I just want to say that OcuSync 2.0 is sort of an underwhelming upgrade. I mean, this is like a full upgrade from 1.0 to 2.0, and all we got is an extra 0.7 miles of distance, so we can now go 5.0 miles, 5 miles, instead of 4.3 miles. I don't know, it seems a little bit underwhelming to me. Now, getting into the camera, this is pretty much the only thing that's different between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom. So everything that I've discussed up to this point right here is going to be the same on both drones. The flight time, the flight range, and the flight speed, OcuSync 2.0, all of that stuff is the same on both of these drones. Now, I want to go over the differences between the Pro's camera and the Zoom's camera, and I think I'm going to start off with the Pro's camera as that's the drone that I purchased. In collaboration with Hasselblad, the Pro version of the Mavic 2 features a camera with a 1-inch sensor that can take 20 megapixel photos and shoot 4K video in 30 frames per second, while 1080p can shoot in up to 120 frames per second. There's also 2.7K for those of you who don't know if you want to shoot in either 4K or 1080p, and that goes up to 60 frames per second. Now, the great thing about this camera is regardless of whether you're taking photos or videos, there's an adjustable aperture between f2.8 and f11. Just like with the Phantom 4 Pro, which really helps dial in the exposure value. This is something that I am really happy to see. Getting into some of the specifics here, the really nerdy specifics, being a camera from Hasselblad, you have access to their color science as well as 10-bit HDR video when shooting in 4K. There's also the ability to shoot in D-Log-M for more flexibility when color grading in post. This will ultimately yield higher dynamic range. The example images shown during the event and also on DJI's website look incredible taken with that Mavic 2 Pro camera, and obviously they would never upload like a bad photo taken with their drone, but it just makes me excited to see what I can shoot with that new Hasselblad camera. I really do think it's better than the Phantom 4 Pro's camera, except for the one factor where the Phantom 4 Pro can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second. I'm not really missing out. I don't usually shoot in 60 FPS. I used to do that all the time when I first got my Phantom 4 Pro. I think just because I thought it was cool being able to shoot in 4K at 60 frames per second. But recently, I've just been shooting in 30 FPS and getting away with it. I mean, it works perfectly fine for me. So at the end of the day, that is the only thing that the Phantom 4 Pro has over this new Hasselblad GoPro Session looking camera on the Mavic 2 Pro. Now onto the Mavic 2 Zoom camera, which my buddy Ken Dono ordered. This camera's biggest feature is that it can zoom in optically 2 times between 24mm and 48mm for a lossless image. Digital zoom can also be applied all the way up to 96mm, but here you'll notice some loss in quality. The camera specs are very similar to that of the original Mavic Pro, so we have a 1 by 2/3 inch sensor that can shoot 12 megapixel photos and all the same video resolutions and frame rates as the Mavic 2 Pro's Hasselblad camera can. Now, I actually got a chance to fly this drone, the Mavic 2 Zoom, and was able to take home some of the short sample footage that I took, and from what I can tell, the colors look incredible. Like, if this is what the image looks like from the Zoom version, I really can't wait to see what I can do with the Pro version. With the Mavic 2 Zoom, you're also able to shoot dolly zoom shots. It's one of the newest quick shots that's only available on the Zoom version of the Mavic 2, which I have to admit is cool, but it wasn't enough to win me over buying the Mavic 2 Pro. Now, before the event, there was speculation that the gimbals would be swappable between the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom, which they are, but you need to send them to DJI for one of their technicians to swap them for you, which is a huge waste of time and a huge waste of money because you bet they aren't doing that for free. Now, I really thought that you'd be able to switch between the two cameras. Like, I thought I'd be able to just buy the Zoom camera by itself, because both of these drones are identical except for the camera. So if I want to use that Zoom camera, I've got to send in my drone and trade in my Hasselblad camera for the Zoom camera. I just don't really think it makes any sense. And with that being the only difference, the camera, I feel like they should have added more of an incentive to buy the Mavic Pro. Maybe beef it up a little bit more, make the flight time a little bit longer. I don't know. Just seems like a real waste of time to me. But guys, I think that is basically everything that I wanted to cover about this event. It was jam-packed with so much information that I probably missed a few things here or there, but I covered everything that was important to me, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to some of my first impressions. I'd love to know what you guys think about these new drones down in the comment section. Now, if you guys are itching for some Mavic 2 content, don't worry. My drone is already on the way. It already shipped, so it's going to be coming very shortly. This drone was available right as the event ended. So, I mean, my drone shipped within like an hour of the event being concluded, which is awesome. I mean, if you guys remember the original Mavic Pro launch, it was rocky to say the least. I waited probably like 4 or 5 months for my drone, so now that DJI is on top of that, kudos to them. But guys, if you want to check out the Mavic 2, I'll leave some links down in the description, the Zoom and also the Pro version. Both of them look like great drones, probably the best drone of 2018 if we don't see like a Phantom later in the year. But guys, I'll stop rambling. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.